France has expressed concern about the volatile situation in the eastern DRC region. It calls on neighbouring Rwanda to cease its support from the notorious M23 rebels who've since stepped up attacks on civilians and SADC mission bases. Kinshasa, the United Nations and several Western nations accuse Kigali of funding M23 rebels with the plan to gain access to Congo's mineral resources. For more on this discussion, we're now joined by conflict resolution expert Dr. Matsanga, all the way from Accra in Ghana. Thank you so much for your time and for joining us, Doctor. What is your analysis of France's call on Rwanda to cease support for M23 rebels in the Eastern Congo war?
First of all, I want to thank all the viewers watching us across the continent of Africa, and especially the people of Congo who have suffered a war that was being planted in their region and the world at large. First, France is telling one side of the conflict, but not telling both sides of the conflict. What does that mean? What does that indicate to you? Why is France not calling upon all the parties, both countries, Rwanda and Congo, to cease hostilities, to have a ceasefire, to stop any activities of militarism, any activities that have led to the killings, torture, and displacement of hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people from Eastern Congo? Why would France single out Rwanda? Why? I have been telling people on this continent for a long time, since 2014, that there is a proxy war, that France is planting a proxy war in the region. People did not listen to me. It is now come. This is the proxy war. If you go and we are trying to solve a conflict, and how do you come and say, identify and single out one country, one party in the conflict, allegedly, and tell them to stop? What about the Interahamwe? What about the FDR that are in Congo? What does France say about the rebels that are in Congo territory? Why can't they tell them to keep off and stop and let the Congolese government stop funding some of these rebel activities? I'm going to stand as a neutral person, stand firm and tell the world the truth. The situation of Congo can only be resolved, and I repeat, when all stakeholders are honest. My sister, stakeholders are not honest. So France is just doing the last kicks of a dying horse, trying to scapegoat. It should come down itself and see what it planted in this region about 8 to 10 years ago.
So, Doctor, when you speak of France inciting this proxy war, what do you suggest would be the benefit to France? Is it the cobalt that they're looking to extract from the DRC?
Of course, if you take it, DRC and the remaining parts of the French former colonies, France's debt is as poor as a church mouse. France has nothing that it can be proud about apart from the looted properties that they took to Paris to build the metros of Paris. So if you take away all this, if you see, one of the problems that Africa is not seeing is these conflicts are not ours. These conflicts are planted on us. This conflict is not ours. And two, the parties that are fighting in Congo, and I want to tell the world this, the parties that are fighting in Congo are not telling us what they want. What does Congo government want? Congo government calls some people who are their citizens as not citizens, as foreigners. And that has been said even by the president himself on national TV and international TV, calling them not citizens of Congo. They should go away. They should go back to Rwanda. Now, what is behind all this? Any mediator on this conflict must find the root cause. What is the root cause? Believe me, even if you go to Angel Gabriel or go to Muhammad, wherever he is, and ask, what is the problem? There is a problem of a state. All this fighting is a state. There are some people who have been discriminated, marginalized, to the extent that enough is enough. They want a state. Any mediator who coming into this conflict, whether South Africa brings in 1 million men to come into Congo, they will not solve this conflict until they find that root cause, heal it. And the only way to heal it, like we did in Yugoslavia, is to have everybody, if the marriage is sour, if people don't want you, if the West in Kinshasa does not like the East in Ngoma, and the North in Kisangani, and the South in Katanga, Lumumbashi, what do? Nobody has brought Congo together. The only person who was going to bring Congo together was killed by the same French intelligence and the Belgian intelligence. So we lost that chance of bringing Congo together. And I can tell you, my sister, as we speak now, there are some people in Congo who don't even know that Mobutu died. The place is so big that there are people who don't even know that there is a government somewhere in Kinshasa. So what do we do about this territory? That does not give permission for anybody to invade it, but we must find a solution.
Most certainly. I mean, Doctor, you mentioned earlier on that you're not going to take sides when it comes to this war and this discussion, but I just want to understand what you assess as Rwanda's support for M23 rebels and its impact on the conflict, if any.
If you threaten Rwanda the way you have, the president of Congo threatened Rwanda, and Rwanda is a state, Rwanda is capable to defend itself. Because if you say, when I win this election, I am going to crush Rwanda, finish it. Don't forget that the people you are talking about have already suffered genocide. And don't forget, and my sister, understand this problem. If you are condemning Rwanda, okay, imagine we condemn Rwanda for giving the rebels arms. What about Interahamwe, FDR, that the Congolese government itself has links with? Who is condemning it? Let's balance it. Who is condemning FDR, which is in Congo? Who is funding it? Who has allowed it to grow, to be rich, to have billions of shillings that it sponsors death squads that kill people? Who? Why are you condemning one side? I'm not on any of the sides, but I want us to balance an argument.
Of course.
Both sides, if you say Rwanda is supporting the rebels, M23, what about FDR? Rwanda's security is threatened by FDR, who are based in Congo. At least my country, Uganda, signed an agreement with Congo to officially enter Congo. And they are there, they have entered Congo to pursue the rebels of ADF who are stationed there, who come occasionally to kill people and go back to the forests of Congo.
And Doctor, sorry to cut you off there, Doctor, but just on that point, I wanted to understand what then is the broader impact of this conflict on other countries within that region.
A very bad negative impact. We are losing trade. Congo has 100 million people, and we cannot trade. There is no unity here. Congo joined the East African community. At the same time, it is in SADC. If we are going to pump in troops, and you can see some SADC troops have not come. Zimbabwe has not brought their troops. Mozambique has not brought their troops. And you know the role that Zimbabwean troops played in 1998 to stop the partitioning of Congo. So if Zimbabwe is not present here, How long will South Africa be able to sustain what UN has failed to conquer? UN has been there for 20 years. It has not even liberated a toilet. Not a single toilet where Congolese can go safely. So if you go on pumping in troops, my sister, we are making the situation worse. Let's face the reality. And the reality is this. The reality is we need, the rebels are fighting for a state. Let it dawn on us that we found these boundaries drawn in 1884 by Bismarck in Berlin. Now, the Congolese who are in Congo, who are Tutsi, are being told you don't belong here. So where do they go? The same happens. That's why you see Congo has been cut to so many places. Katanga province, you see what happened in 1960s. Katanga wanted to be a country of its own. And Lumumba refused. Mobutu refused. There was a fight. So many people died. So until we organize Congo, rearrange Congo like we arranged South Sudan and Sudan, we arranged Yugoslavia, where you have Croatia, you have Macedonia, you have Albania, you have Serbia, Bosnia-Herzegovina, then we might not have peace if we still remain accusing each other of rebels. The final word I want to put here is this. All stakeholders in this conflict are dishonest.
All right, Doctor. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for this evening. Thank you so much for your time and your enthusiasm in explaining to us the situation that's happening in the DRC.